मङ्गलाचरणम्। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखिलरसामृतमूर्तिः प्रसमररुचिरुद्धतारकापालि कलितश्यामा ललितो राधाप्रेयान् विधुर्जयति। Welcome to today's class. So we have discussed till shloka number 22 of the first section of the first chapter of Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Rupa Goswami. Uh, we have we have discussed Jiva Goswami's commentary on Shloka 22. We are yet to discuss Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary on that. I'll read the shloka again. Durjatireva savana yogyatve karanam matam durjatyarambhakam papam yatsyat prarabdham evatat. So, in the earlier previously, Rupa Goswami has quoted a particular shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, which Devahuti speaks to Bhagavan Kapila. यन्नामधेय श्रवणानुकीर्तनाद् यत्प्रह्वणाद् यत्स्मरणादपि क्वचित् श्वादोऽपि सद्यः सवनाय कल्पते कुतः पुनस्ति भगवन्नुदर्शनात्. Just by hearing the name of him, just by hearing his name, or just by reciting, uttering his name, just by bowing down to him, or just by remembering him, thinking of him, but just once, even once doing that. Any of these, if you do even once, Shvada, even if you are a dog eater, means even if you are a person of the lowest caste, even if you are born in the most sinful of families, you are immediately eligible to engage in Somayaga Savana. You are immediately eligible to engage in Vedic sacrifices. That is the intention. What then, O Bhagavan Shri Kapila, what then to speak of having direct darshana of you? That is the shloka. So this is in support of Krishna Bhakti removing one's prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is the manifested, the karma which has already borne fruit, already produced its result. Even the karma which has produced its result in the form of our present body, in the form of our present shortcomings and so forth. So that prarabdha karma, which has already started giving its result, even that can be totally nullified by just once chanting the name of Sri Krishna. Even a slight engagement in Krishna Bhakti will nullify even one's prarabdha. What then to speak of having direct darshan of Bhagavan? So then Rupa Goswami says, Shloka 22. So in that shloka, Devahuti tells that even if one is a dog eater, one will be eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. So, Durjati, a sinful birth, a birth in a low family, a sinful family, is the very reason why you are not eligible for performing that Vedika activity of the sacrifice. The reason why the dog eater, the one born in the lowest caste, is not eligible to perform uh, the Vedika sacrifice is his birth in that family. The birth itself, the birth in the sinful family, the birth in the low family is the very reason that one is not eligible to perform the Vedika sacrifices. So, when such a person just once chants the name of utters the name of Krishna, or bows down to him in the temple, or recites his name, okay, so that sinful birth, that low birth, is nullified. And that's why it is said by Devahuti that he immediately becomes eligible to perform the sacrifice. Durjatyarambhakam papam yatsyat prarabdhamevat. So this person has taken birth in the low family because of his past karma, which was a very sinful activity, papa. So that papa manifested in the form, gave its result to this person in the form of birth in the low family. And now, when he chants the name of Krishna, that prarabdha which has manifested in the form of his low birth will be immediately removed. And therefore, he is no longer considered to be born of a low family, and he is considered eligible for doing the yaga. Jiva Goswami clarifies all these things in his commentary, and he also explains that to be so the word used in the shloka is Savanaya Kalpate, and he refers to Sridhara Swami's commentary, the old commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says that Savanaya Kalpate in the shloka of Srimad Bhagavata by Devahuti means that he becomes as respectable as a person who performs the Vaidika sacrifice. Although he chanted the name of Krishna and he is no longer having any prarabdha left, still he cannot undertake the performance of that yaga because he has not received the Upanayana samskar and he has not been trained in the Vedika Shastras and he has not memorized the Vedas. He does not know how to pour the offerings in the sacrifice and all these things. And because of that, he cannot perform those sacrifices. But he is respected just like a person who performs those sacrifices. If he wants to perform that sacrifice, then in this life he cannot perform the sacrifice. That's what Jiva Goswami says. So, although he is completely devoid of any karma, he has no prarabdha karma left in him, he still cannot perform the sacrifice because there is no shishtachara, there is no parampara, there is no tradition of giving Upanayana samskara. There is no tradition of giving the Brahminical initiation to those born in low families. Only those born as in the families of Brahmana, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are eligible to receive this Upanayana samskara. If you are born in a family that is not any of these families, then you cannot get Upanayana samskara. Even if you are a great devotee of Vishnu and you are respected as a very exalted Brahmana and you are honored in that way, you still cannot perform the sacrifice which that Brahmana performs because you do not have Upanayana samskara. And if you want Upanayana samskara, then you have to take another birth in the family of Brahmana, Kshatriyas or Vaishyas. So that is the point Jiva Goswami makes there. Any questions someone has here? Any doubts?
In the Mahabharata, we listen to the story of King Harishchandra, who from being a Kshatriya, he falls down to less than a dog catcher. He's getting rid of the bodies of dead animals and so on. Essentially becomes a Sudra. And then he becomes a Kshatriya again because of his, and it says because of his prarabdha karma, it gets wiped out because of his bhakti. But when he becomes a Kshatriya again, he was able to, when you give him the term Kshatriya or a Brahmana or a Vaishya, when those terms are associated, that means he has the Upanayana Samskara, he has undergone the Upanayana Samskara, and they can perform Vedic rituals.
Yes.
Right? So Harishchandra did do his daily Vedic rituals. Like even the Sandhyavandanam has mantras from the Vedas.
Yeah.
Right? So when he does those things, doesn't it go against what Jiva Goswami is talking about?
No, because he was born as a Kshatriya. So the birth is a higher birth.
So the birth supersedes it. Okay.
But the following discussion, we will see in discussing the commentary of Vishwanatha Chakravarti. So here, Vishwanatha Chakravarti disagrees with Jiva Goswami's opinion. Okay? So let's discuss that.
Namo Namah.
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna.
The origin Hare Krishna. The original, she says that even the prarabdha karma is nullified, right?
Yes.
Just by kinchit, kadachit, like taking his name. Then why does Rupa Goswami go against that part? I mean,
so why? How does he go against?
Yeah.
Like how? Like why do you feel that he goes against that idea?
I mean, okay, I've not read this, but I was just hearing you. You were saying Kochit ya Kadachit, like, once in a while he just takes the Lord's name and he is purified, right? And he gets the eligibility to do the Soma Yajna. So when he has done that, then why does so Rupa Goswami feel that no, you need to have the Yajnopavita ceremony?
That's what Jiva Goswami says, the commentator.
Oh, okay, Acha.
So Jiva Goswami says that yes, your prarabdha is removed and you are very exalted now. You are totally pure of your papa. So you are qualified to perform that yajna. That's what is said in the shloka. But it actually means that you are respected like a person who is qualified to perform the yajna. You are not yet eligible to perform that yajna because of these requirements which are there.
Okay. And sir, is it? I mean, maybe I'm going forward much before. Like, is it possible that prarabdha can be overcome?
Yes, that is Srimad Bhagavat very emphatically mentions that prarabdha karma itself is removed by even a little practice of Krishna bhakti.
Okay, sir.
Yes, it is. So, Vishwanatha Chakravarti's commentary, Bhakti Sara Pradarshini Tika. Yogyatvam yagadhikaratva swarupameva. So he immediately mentions his opinion on this point. That is a different opinion than Jiva Goswami's opinion. So yogyatvam savanaya kalpate. One becomes qualified, eligible. It means one becomes eligible to do that yaga itself. That is what the shloka means of Srimad Bhagavatam. So now he presents his refutation. Nacha tadrisha swapachasya yagadhikaritve sakatham yogam na karoti sakatham yagam na karoti iti vachya. Tasya shuddha bhaktatvena karmani shraddha rahitya. So he is eligible to do the yajna physically. He can take up the performance of yajna without undergoing upanayana samskara and all these things. Engagement in Krishna Bhakti for even a little while or even once nullifies all one's prarabdha and makes one qualified to do a Vaidika sacrifice. It means that one is qualified to do a Vaidika sacrifice. That's what it means. Nothing else. So then, if he has the eligibility, if this person born in a low family now, after chanting the name of Krishna, is immediately purified and has that eligibility to perform that Vaidika sacrifice, why then does he not engage in Vaidika sacrifice? We don't see people who have become devotees, who were earlier from lower families, have now become devotees. We don't see them engaging in Vaidika sacrifices, at least not at the time of Vishwanatha Chakravarti. So why do they don't engage in these sacrifices? So he says that don't argue in that way because he is a pure devotee of Krishna. Shuddha Bhakti, he is following the path of pure devotion to Krishna. So, Shuddha Bhaktatvena Karmani Shraddha Rahitya. He has no interest in performing the Vedika yagas, in performing the Vedika activities, which are usually done for fulfilling our material desires. Because he is a pure Vaishnava, he has no material desires to fulfill. He does not have any attraction to do the Vedic activities. He has no Shraddha in them. Shraddha means he has no dedication to perform those Vedic sacrifices. He is not interested in the Vedic sacrifices. Okay? Because he is a pure devotee of Krishna, he is only interested in serving Krishna, serving Sri Hari. That's his answer. So now, then he says, अन्ये सत्कुलोत्पन्न गृहस्थास्तु श्रद्धा रहिता अपि लोकसंग्रहार्थं कर्म कुर्वन्ति तथा च गीतायां लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि इति. Other people who have taken up the path of devotion and were earlier born in high families, born in Brahmanical families or Kshatriya families or Vaishya families even. So those people who are householders, grihasthas, they are married people and they are born in high families and they have taken up the path of devotion to Krishna, pure devotion, Shuddha Bhakti they are practicing still. So although they also do not have any interest in engaging in Vedic sacrifices and activities, still they do those activities, they do those Vedic sacrifices because they want to do loka sangraha. They want to set a right example for ordinary people. So it was a custom, it was a tradition in the older days, at least 300 years ago or so, even 150 to 200 years ago, this was seen in the Indian society. And those who are born in high families and they are having this spiritual attitude, all of them engage in the Vedic sacrifices which are prescribed for them. So Brahman is prescribed to do certain Vedic sacrifices, Kshatriya is prescribed to do certain, Vaishya is prescribed to do. So Agnihotra is to be done by all the members of the higher varnas. So all of them, they would do these Vedic sacrifices. Okay? Brahmana, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. When they marry, they would do all these sacrifices. And if they take up the path of pure devotion to Krishna, although they lose their attraction for performing the Vedic sacrifices, they still continue to do those sacrifices because they do not want to disturb the social custom. They want to set the right example for ordinary people. That's the answer. Also,
so
yes.
I have a question. When you say perform these Vedic sacrifices, this havans and pujas and so on, we have a lot of in the area there where we live. There is not a lot of Brahmins in the local temple close to our house. There's not a lot of Brahmins around that place. But the first Sunday of every month, they do the Sudarshana Homa. And it's a big affair. About 150 people show up, and there are probably 3 or 4 Brahmins in that group. They are the people who are doing the yajna, the mantra, the actual recitation of the Vedic slokas. But there are sponsors, and these sponsors usually sit next to them, and these priests will tell the sponsors, you do the sankalpa, and after the sankalpa, you pour the ghee, you pour the offerings into the Agni. So these people don't have they have not gone through the Upanayana ceremony, but they sit there and do this. Is that considered part of the sacrifice?
So according to the Shastras, it should not be done. So they should not engage in those sacrifices. Those who have not do not have Upanayana Samskar. They cannot
They are
become
the
Vedic.
sponsors. They are the sponsors of the
It
event.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Sponsor mean Yajaman. So you want to do that sacrifice and you want to employ some Brahmanas on your behalf to chant the mantras, and when they do the sacrifice, you will get the result of that sacrifice.
Okay.
So
But
it is
that is
actually
quite prevalent, is it not, sir?
Yes,
The
it's quite
Yajaman is
prevalent
quite,
in South India.
yeah.
so traditionally it should not have been followed like that. Only those who are part of the higher caste, higher varnas,
Yeah.
are allowed to be sitting in that sacrifice and all this stuff.
Yeah, they don't recite the Vedic mantras, but the other peripheral mantras, though there are things that they do recite.
Okay, that's okay, but the adhikara to do the sacrifice only comes when you do undergo Upanayana. Otherwise, it does not.
Okay.
I'll just add, sir, generally I have come across where on behalf of the Yajaman, the learned Brahmin, he does the Havan and all that, but everything is done on the behalf of the Yajaman.
Yes.
When the results accrue, the fruits accrue to the Yajaman and not to the Vidwan or to the priest who's doing it.
Exactly. Yes. That is the system.
So, but you're saying that that is not allowed?
Yeah, because you are allowed to do that yaga. You are allowed to do that. Do in the sense uh, become a yajaman of that yaga. Okay. So you are allowed to do that only if you have Upanayana. Otherwise, not. That is a Vedika karma you are doing. Okay, whatever homa you are doing, whatever mantras you are chanting as a yajamana and pouring something in that fire of the sacrifice. That is a Vedic activity, and for that you need Upanayana. Otherwise, it is not allowed.
If you read the Mahabharata, the kings were generally the Yajaman. The kings were Kshatriyas.
Yes, yes. Kshatriyas are given Upanayana at the age of 11 or 12.
But they don't physically do the sacrifice. It's the Brahmanas who do it.
Yeah. See, they don't do in the sense the Brahmanas chant the mantras, they carry out the entire sacrifice, and the Yajamana has to be there. And he has to pour some particular offerings in that sacrifice. And he has to, he is the person who is actually doing that yaga through the Brahmanas. Okay, he is causing the Brahmanas to do that yaga. If he was not there, the Brahmanas would not have done that. So it is he who is making the causing the Brahmanas do that sacrifice, and it is he is who is actually the main performer of that yaga. Okay. All these yagas, Ashwamedha yaga, and all these things, the kings were doing that in the sense that they would employ the Brahmanas to do the yaga for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Actually,
not
the
very convinced.
situation in certain parts of the country, the situation is even worse. You go to Melkote in Karnataka, in the temple, the priest is a non-Brahmin.
Oh, okay.
And they don't have Upanayana. And the reason is on Diwali day 1799, Tipu Sultan went into Melkote and he killed all the Brahmins, the families. Everybody was slaughtered. So there was nobody to offer worship. So the local people got together and they started offering worship, and their families continue to do that tradition. They're the people who are officiating there.
See, worshipping in the temple is a different thing. It is not a Vedic karma, like offering sacrifice in the fire.
Okay.
Worshipping the Vishnu Murti is directly an anga of bhakti, Vishnu bhakti. So you don't require Upanayana for that. There is no such eligibility requirement. But for Vedic karma, you need.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So also he's supporting with a statement from Srimad Bhagavad Gita Lokasangraham evapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. Krishna tells to Arjuna. So although you are not attached to your prescribed actions as a Kshatriya, still you should do them to set a right example for the people. Okay. Now, अस्य तु कर्मकरणे प्रत्युत भक्तिशास्त्रानभिज्ञ जनप्रवादभयमपि प्रतिबन्धकमस्ति इति ज्ञेयम्. Also, in the case of this devotee born in a low family, in a sinful family, when he became a devotee, his prarabdha was removed. He is now, Vishwanath Chakravarti says, he is qualified to engage in that yaga. Okay? But he does not do that because, first point, he said earlier, he is not interested in that. He is a pure devotee, he has no material desire, so he does not do those activities. And also, there is another point why he does not do that action, because those people who are ignorant of Bhakti Shastras, those people who do not know the Shastra of Bhakti, they will speak bad about this person who was earlier of a lower Varna. They will speak bad about this person when he engages in the Vaidika sacrifice. So, out of fear of criticism, out of fear of other people offending a devotee of Krishna, offending bhakti to Krishna, he does not engage in those Vedic activities. So that also stops him from engaging in that. That should be understood. Now, he takes up the opinion of Sridhara Swami as well as Jiva Goswami. अत्र सवनाय कल्पते इत्यत्र सोमयागकर्तृवत् पूज्यो भवति इति व्याख्याने ग्रन्थस्य कष्टकल्पनापत्तेः प्रकृतग्रन्थस्य असङ्गतेश्च यतः सवनयोग्यत्वस्य एव प्रारब्धनाशकत्वं न तु पूज्यत्वस्य तथाभूत दुर्जातित्वप्रयोजकीभूत प्रारब्धवतां ज्ञानिनां पूज्यत्वदर्शनात्. So the opinion of Sridhara Swami and Jiva Goswami is that in that Srimad Bhagavata shloka, Savanaya Kalpate is said. So it means that such a person who was born in a low family and chants the name of Krishna even once, he becomes respectable like a performer of the Soma Yaga. In this commentary, in this explanation, there is Kashta Kalpana Apatti. There is a problem of excessive imagination. Kashta Kalpana, you are thinking too much about that. When you say that this person becomes as respectable as the person who does the Soma Yaga. Okay. This is it is not straightforward explanation. It is a very troublesome explanation. That's what he says. So this is the problem. The problem is that your explanation is troublesome. It is not straightforward. It is not direct. Okay? Direct explanation is that he becomes eligible to do the yaga. It means he can do the yaga. It does not mean anything else, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti. So, also he says another reason why your explanation is problematic is that it is not in accordance with the present text. It is not in accordance with that shloka which you are commenting on. That shloka of Srimad Bhagavata. It says that this person becomes qualified to engage in the yaga. But you are saying that no, he is not qualified to engage in that yaga, but he should be respected like a person qualified to engage in that yaga. It is not in accordance with that shloka on which you are commenting. Why is it not in accordance with that shloka? He presents the reason. Savana Yogya, there is a typing mistake here. It should be, I referred various editions and found out. It would be Savana Yogyatwasya eva prarabdha nashakatva. What do you mean that one's prarabdha is removed by even once engaging in Krishna Bhakti, even once uttering his name and bowing down to prarabdha is removed? Prarabdha is removed means he becomes qualified to engage in yaga. Becoming qualified to engage in the yaga itself means that his prarabdha is destroyed. It does not mean that he becomes respectable, natu pujyatvasya. Okay? Becoming respectable like a person engaging in Soma Yaga does not mean that his prarabdha is destroyed. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti's refutation. Okay, I'll repeat. Becoming respectable, so this lower caste person became a devotee of Krishna. And you say that he becomes as respectable as a person engaging in Somayaga. He cannot engage in Somayaga. He becomes as respectable, as honorable as a person engaging in that yaga. But becoming honorable as a person engaging in Somayaga does not mean that his prarabdha is removed. That does not indicate the removal of his prarabdha. The removal of his prarabdha will only be indicated by his actually engaging in that Somayaga, by his actually becoming qualified to engage in Somayaga. That indicates the removal of his prarabdha, not his becoming honorable like a person engaging in yaga. Why? Because he says, even other people, those who are not devotees of Krishna, those who are not Vaishnavas, those who are jnanis, those who are cultivating the path of the knowledge of oneness of the Atma and Paramatma, even those jnanis, they undertake various tapasya and they follow various strict rules. And because of that, they are also considered honorable in society. So he is giving the example that a person was born in a low family, a sinful family. He came in touch with some sannyasis, some jnanis, and he took up the path of jnana marga, cultivation of knowledge of oneness with oneness of Atma and Paramatma. And he followed that very nicely for many years. So now he also becomes as respectable as a person engaging in yajna. Okay, he is also respected like a high brahmana. He does not do the yajna. He is not eligible to do the Vaidika sacrifices, but he is respected just like a person eligible to do the sacrifices. Although he is not a devotee of Krishna, although he has not uttered the name of Krishna, not bowed down to Krishna, but he is cultivating the path of oneness, path of knowledge of oneness between Atma and Paramatma. Even if he is not a devotee of Krishna, he is considered to be very honorable and as honorable as a Brahmana who does the yajnas. So then, the prarabdha karma of jnani has not been destroyed. That is the understanding. Those who take to the path of jnana, cultivating the knowledge of oneness of Atma and Paramatma, they destroy various papas of previous lives, but that papa which has manifested in the form of the present body and so forth, that prarabdha karma, that is not removed. That is not destroyed by the practice of jnana marga. The path of knowledge does not destroy your prarabdha karma. Even Adi Shankaracharya writes about it. Your prarabdha karma will be removed only when you give up this body and attain liberation. Before attaining liberation, final liberation, before that, your prarabdha karma will continue. Only after you give up this body will you be free of prarabdha karma. So when you are practicing the path of knowledge of oneness between Atma and Paramatma, and you are not a devotee of Krishna, your prarabdha will continue. And also you will be respected by everyone just like a person eligible to do the yajna. But still you cannot do the yajnas. Because you are born of a low family, your prarabdha is still there. Okay, you cannot undergo Upanayana Samskara because you were born of a low family. And if you want to do the yajna, you have to take the next birth. Another birth in a higher varna. That is for jnanis who are following the path of jnana. But for a devotee of Krishna, for a Vaishnava, it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam that his prarabdha is removed immediately at the time of his uttering the name of Krishna, even once bowing down to him. So if his prarabdha is removed and he still remains just as honorable as a Brahmana who does the yajna, but he cannot do the yajna because he does not have Upanayana and so forth. That is not correct. It is wrong to consider that. Prarabdha is removed, it means that he becomes eligible to perform the Vaidika sacrifice. But he is not interested in doing that. That is the point he is making also. Okay. So any question someone has, any doubt or comments? Okay.
Just to summarize,
in
the Jnana Marga, apparently prarabdha doesn't go away till the body goes away.
Yes.
But in the bhakti part, prarabdha can also be nullified if one becomes a devotee.
Yes.
Okay. But then we see good bhaktas also suffer. So how do you explain that? Because often I have come across this thing that saying that prarabdha cannot be circumvented. All the other thing, like all the sanchita karma, those things can be burnt away, but prarabdha has to be endured.
So Vishwanath Chakravarti answers your question in the next few sentences.
Okay.
So then the next point he takes up. Bhaktanam prarabdha samanya nashati. So what do you mean prarabdha is removed? So somebody may say prarabdha is removed means the karma which gave you this body is removed. If that karma is not there, your body will drop, you will die, and you will attain liberation immediately. Why does your body still continue to be present? Why is the Atma still in the body? Why is the Atma not liberated from the body's prarabdha is removed? Okay. So he answers this. Bhaktanam prarabdha samanya nashepi yat sukha dukkham drishyate tatra tu sukham bhakte anushandikam phalam yatha narada pancharas. So, but we still see that devotees experience happiness and distress, material happiness and material distress in their lives. If they do not have prarabdha, if no karma is there, why are they getting some material happiness? Because material happiness is the result of your past good actions, which has already been removed by your practice of bhakti. And material suffering is the result of your past bad actions, the result of which has already been removed by your practice of bhakti. So why do the devotees still continue to experience material happiness and distress? So there he says that the happiness should be understood as a byproduct of his practice of Krishna bhakti, not because of his past good karmas. So the happiness he is getting in this life after becoming a devotee is because of, it is just a byproduct of his Krishna bhakti. Okay. As said in the Narada Pancharatra, he refers to this Shastra for support to his point, which says Hari Bhakti Mahadevya Sarva Muktyadi Siddhaya Bhuktayascha Adbhutastasya Chetika Vadanudruta. So Hari Bhakti, devotion to Bhagavan Shri Hari, is a great goddess. Okay? And all other accomplishments like liberation from birth and death and whatever else is there. Okay? Also material enjoyment, whatever swarga and all these attainments are there. all of these are maid servants, are just servants of this great goddess which is Bhakti. So when devotion to Krishna is practiced by someone, then liberation automatically accrues to that person. He does not try separately for attaining mukti. Also, another perfection, yogic perfections, anima, lagima, all these siddhis and all these things, they are also available to him if he wishes. Material enjoyments and all other things, they anudrutaha, they will immediately come to him if he desires so. So they are these attainments, material and other spiritual attainments also. They are subordinate to Krishna Bhakti. Okay. So the happiness of the devotee is a byproduct of his practice of Krishna Bhakti. Also, the distress which he experiences, material distress. So he clarifies, Dukkham tu kutrachit bhagavad dattam yatha shri dashame. So sometimes, kutrachit, in some cases, regarding a few devotees, regarding some devotees, that material distress which they experience is directly given by Bhagavan Sri Hari himself. So Krishna himself gives suffering in the life of some of his devotees, as he himself says in the 10th skanda of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yasyaham anugrihnami harishye tadhanam shanaihi tato dhanam tyajantyasya svajana dukkha dukkhitah. To whomever I show my mercy, I gradually take away all his wealth. And when he becomes, when he loses all his wealth, his relatives and friends and all those people who were connected with him, they will leave him. They will go away from him. And he will not have any other distractions but to take full shelter of myself. Okay? This is Krishna's special mercy on some of his devotees in this world, sadhakas. Okay? And sometimes to some devotees of Krishna, their material distress is the result of various things such as Vaishnava Paradha or Nama Paradha or other such things. Okay? So, committing an offense to a devotee of Sri Vishnu is a grave offense on the path of Krishna Bhakti. Okay? So, all one's progress on the path of devotion will be lost if one offends the devotee of Krishna. Offenses are of various kinds: physically hurting a devotee of Krishna, verbally abusing a devotee of Krishna, or mentally thinking bad about a devotee of Krishna. All of these are offenses to devotees of Krishna. Also, regarding Krishna, also you can directly offend him. Okay. You can blaspheme Krishna, or you can do some offense to Krishna or something. So, any offense done on the path of bhakti leads to such material sufferings. It should be explained in that way. Also, Gopalji, I will add, because you had asked a question, or I had made a point that why one's body continues to exist. So if a devotee has lost all prarabdha, he should be free of this body and become liberated instantly. So Baldev Vidyabhushan, he comments on this in his, I think, Gita commentary or his Brahma Sutra commentary. So there he says that although the devotee has lost all his prarabdha karma because of his Krishna bhakti, still Krishna gives him various things. Krishna maintains his body. Krishna maintains his body as it was prior to his becoming a devotee. And Krishna maintains his quota of happiness and distress and various material experiences in this body because of the connection of the karmas of other people with his actions. So if he instantly dies and attains liberation, then other people who were supposed to attain some material benefit from him or attain some material distress because of him, other people who are supposed to gain some help, material help from him, other people who are supposed to gain some material harm from him, their karma will not be taken care of. Okay. So
Okay.
to maintain this karma vyavastha of other people's karma in regard to the material karma of this devotee, which has already been removed. So material karma has been removed, but other people are connected. They are supposed to, no, their karma is connected with this person. So if this person goes away, their karma will not have any functioning. It will not be able to fructify. So in order to facilitate the karma of other people, dealings, karma of other people, Krishna makes this devotee experience various things in his life as he would have experienced if he would not have become a devotee.
Okay.
So, but those experiences which he has are considered to be given by Krishna himself, not because of his past karma.
Okay.
Not because of his past. That's how he reconciles it.
Okay.
Yes.
This statement, Yasyaham anugrahanami harishye taddanam shanaihi, where is it taken from?
Srimad Bhagavatam 1088.8. Let us see. It was Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Shri Krishna said, Yasyaham anugrashnami harishye taddanam shanai tato dhanam tyajantyasya svajana dukkha dukkhitam. If you want the context, let us see. So Parikshit said to Shukadeva Goswami, Devasura manusheshu ye bhajant ashivam shivam prayaste dhanino bhoja natu lakshmah patim harim. So he brings up a nice point. Dear Guruji Shukadeva Maharaj, it is seen in this world that those who worship Shiva, so among the gods and asuras and humans, anyone who worships Shiva, usually it is seen that they become very rich. However, those who worship the husband of Lakshmi, those who worship Narayana, they usually do not become rich. Although Narayana is the husband of Lakshmi, Lakshmi is the goddess of fortune, of wealth, the devotees of Narayana usually are seen they are not rich. Etad veditum ichcham, we wish to know why, what is the reason for this. This is a big doubt that I have, because Shiva is having, materially, it is seen that Shiva is not having any material possessions. He is sitting in a smashana where dead bodies are burnt, and he is not having any luxurious clothes. He's just dressed in a elephant skin or deer skin. No, he has snakes on himself, and he does not have any wealth. He begs for dakshina everywhere. So, but his devotees, they attain a lot of money. On the other hand, we see Vishnu is very wealthy. He is the Lord of Vaikuntha, and he wears all this nice mukut and nice golden ornaments, and he has a nice palace in Vaikuntha and all these things. But his devotees are not rich; they are poor. So, why is this contradiction there? Shri Shuka Uvacha, Shukadev Maharaj said, Who is Shiva? Okay. Shiva Shakti Yuta Shashva Trilingo Guna Samvrata. All these things. Hari Nirguna Sakshat. Hari himself, on the contrary, is Nirguna without any gunas. Shiva is in contact with Tamoguna. Shiva is manifestation of Bhagavan Vishnu in contact with Tamoguna, but Vishnu himself is devoid of any contact even with Tamoguna. He is beyond the Prakriti. The one who worships Vishnu becomes Nirguna, free from the contact of Guna himself. He becomes liberated. Okay. So, निवृत्तेष्वश्वमेधेषु राजा युष्मत्पितामहः शृण्वन् भगवतो धर्मान् अपृच्छदिदमच्युतम्. So, I'm sorry, I'm deviating from the topic of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but this is an interesting topic.
Yeah.
So, when the Ashwamedhas, those yagas were completed by your grandfather, Yudhishthira, King Yudhishthira did various Ashwamedha, many Ashwamedha yagas. And so, after finishing them, Shrinvan Bhagavato Dharman Aprachadidamachyuta. So, he asked Bhagavan Sri Vishnu, Sri Krishna himself, he asked about this. He asked about this very point that Parikshit you have asked. Why do the devotees of Shiva, they attain wealth and the devotees of Vishnu remain poor? Sa aha bhagavanstasmai prita shushushave prabhu nradam shreyasarthaya yogatirno yadapure. So Bhagavan
Okay.
Sri Krishna was very satisfied by this question of Yudhishthira. He wanted the answer to this. And Sri Krishna then spoke to him. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, to whomever I show my mercy, I gradually take away his wealth, and then he will lose. When he has lost his wealth, he will be discarded by his relatives, and he will suffer when they leave him because of lack of money. स यदा वितथोद्योगो निर्विण्ण स्यात् धनेहया मत्परः कृतमैत्रस्य करिष्ये मदनुग्रहम्. So when this devotee of mine whose wealth I have taken away, when he will lose his interest in accumulating money, and when he will be detached, when he will lose interest in his desire to accumulate money, and he who has already made friendship with other devotees of mine, okay, I will show my mercy to him. Karishye madanugraham.
Yeah.
So that is the point he makes here. So, yes.
Difficulty need not always be just money related, right? Wealth related.
Material difficulty.
It could be health, or it could be other problems.
Yes.
So I think it is quite interesting. With this example, I didn't think of the Shiva. Shiva lives in a very impoverished state,
Yes.
and Vishnu he's a lord of Lakshmi, but still his devotees But
Yes.
that is on the wealth part. The thing is, I somehow I just feel it's a roundabout explanation, and we could probably it's easier to just say that Prarabdha is there with you till you die.
No, Prarabdha cannot be there with you because Bhagavatam says that it is removed just by once chanting the name of Krishna.
Yeah, but then with all these interpretations, maybe I thought it'd be easier to just leave it at that. But anyway, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you said something, Parasji, about Shiva just being another aspect of Narayana or Vishnu or Vasudeva, whoever the supreme being is. But in Skanda 10, Adhyaya 62 or 63, there is Banasura, and Shiva and Kartikeya fight on the side of Banasura, and they abduct Aniruddha, and Krishna and Balarama go and battle with them.
Yes.
And Shiva. So how does all this gets resolved? Because you see, they're both the same, but still they battle with each other.
Yeah, Shiva is a form of Vishnu in contact with the Tamoguna, that is right. But he is different in that way. So he acts differently. Of course, there is no difference between Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva, as he says to Daksha in the 4th skanda of Srimad Bhagavata. But for the sake of the Leela of Vishnu, all these things events take place. So Shiva becomes bewildered temporarily by Krishna's arrangement. So Shiva loses the sense of, he loses his good sense that what he should do and what he should not do, and he sides with a demon to fight against Krishna, who is his own master. So And Krishna in this way establishes that he is more powerful than Shiva.
Okay.
So better take shelter of Krishna rather than take shelter of Shiva. So these are various various things that Krishna accomplishes by such leelas. So let's read some more of his commentary. Yeah, so other things will be the result of Vaishnava Parada and so forth. So yes, Gopal Prabhu, I will tell you what is the problem in considering that bhakti does not remove prarabdha but removes all other karmas. In that way, bhakti will not have the more power than the other paths of other spiritual paths. Like the path of jnana removes all other karmas except prarabdha. So how will you say that bhakti is more powerful? Yes, bhakti gives you a better attainment than jnana marga, but how will you say it is more powerful than jnana marga? It should destroy. There should be its power is evident when it will destroy prarabdha karma, which jnana cannot destroy. Also, because the Shastra directly says that prarabdha is destroyed by bhakti, in many places it is found. So if we think that, let us consider that bhakti does not destroy prarabdha, that will be offense to the Shastra, offense to Harinam, bhakti. So we should follow the Shastra's advice and consider what it says. Okay.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, like we have discussed the commentary, let us stop here for today's class. And we'll discuss the next verse onwards in the next week class. Only 2 minutes are remaining today. Okay. Thank you so much for
Thank you, Parasji.
participation.
Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.